Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the AEW Dynamite post-show review. I'm your host, Josh, as always. Solo, as always, for the post-show reviews. Because right now it is like I don't know, it's like 4 in the morning for Rue and Stu. So yeah, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You know how this goes. I go through everything on the show. And if you're new here, then welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, all that good stuff. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to be going over everything that happened on AEW Dynamite that just wrapped up. It was called AEW Dynamite September to Remember for September 17th, 2025. A pretty solid episode of Dynamite, to be honest. 3 hours was just a lot, though. I'm not going to lie. Um, yeah, a long show. And I already know AEW All Out is going to be a long show, but I'm going to be there in person, so it might not be as bad. Um, who knows? Maybe it'll be just as bad. Maybe I'll get tired throughout the show. Who knows? But they have a stacked card for All Out, so I might not. The crowd might be into it. Might keep me into it in person. But right now, I am exhausted. I am tired. But that's all good. We're here with the post show. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. Mike is not muted. If you listen to the podcast earlier, the WrestlePalooza podcast, the predictions podcast with Drew, you know why I should double check if my mic was muted or not. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna go over everything that happened. Yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that notification bell so you're updated with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. I am recording an interview tomorrow. I'm not sure yet when it's going to be out. Maybe sometime during the weekend or sometime next week. But yeah, I am recording an interview tomorrow, and I will do the announcement once the interview is recorded and all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, let's get straight into AEW Dynamite. Um, we kicked off the show with a contract signing between Hangman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher. They just had a bit of a jaw jacking back and forth. Kyle Fletcher he talked about how he's so great at his young age. He's the best TNT champion. Hangman Adam Page just reiterated that Kyle Fletcher better keep the Don Callis family in the back, and they're not allowed to get involved this Saturday at AEW All Out. And he also made the stipulation that if the Don Callis family gets involved, that Kyle Fletcher will be stripped of the TNT championship as well. And I think he also said won't be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship, um, or something along those lines. So um, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I think this is going to be a good match between Hangman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher. I'm a fan of both of these guys. I think Kyle Fletcher has a lot of potential in this business. And yeah, one day he definitely could be AEW World Champ. Um, I don't think it's going to happen at AEW All Out. We're gonna get into our predictions probably tomorrow as well. We're gonna record the predictions podcast for All Out tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, pretty a pretty fun contract signing. There wasn't too much to it. Um, there was a no touch clause, so they weren't allowed to fight or anything, put their hands on each other. So it was just a bit of a jaw jacking back and forth and a little bit of a stare down. Um, so yeah, the first match of the night was John Moxley defeating Roderick Strong in a pretty solid match. As expected, to be honest, John Moxley and Roderick Strong are both fantastic competitors. They've both been doing this for a long time. And I'm a fan of both of these guys, and they put on a good match. Um, so John Moxley wins that. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys today. I was a little bit lazy with the coverage today, so I obviously like put in all the match results, and I only typed in the segments that really mattered. I only put that in there in the coverage, so I may miss some things that actually happened, but that's just because I didn't put in there. I didn't put in like some backstage interviews that happened just because I was exhausted today, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it a little bit easy today. I'm still gonna do the coverage. I'm still gonna do all that stuff. But I'm just gonna put in the stuff that really matters. Um, we then had Bobby Lashley defeating Toa Leona. Now, here's something funny about this. in my TikTok preview earlier today, I said I didn't know who Toa Leona was. Little did I know that the he's in the Gates of Agony. I had no idea that was his name. I knew there was Bishop Khan in there. And obviously, Ricochet is part of them now. Had no idea Toa Leona was the other one's name. I don't know how I didn't know that, but and nobody even bothered correcting me. Nobody was like, he's in the Gates of Agony, dude. Nope, nobody corrected me. I had to find that out on my own, but it's all good. Um, yeah, so this was two big meaty men slapping meat. That's what this was. There was a Haas fight, and it was a pretty fun fight to watch. So, and I became a little bit of a fan of Toa Leona after this match because I haven't seen him wrestle a whole lot. I'll be completely honest, I haven't seen him wrestle a whole lot. So, this was fun to watch. Obviously, we know Bobby Lashley is what he's capable of, and he's a fantastic wrestler in his own right. And yeah, he picks up the win here by submission, by putting in that full Nelson lock, aka the Hurt Lock, the Master Lock, whatever you want to call it. He cinched that in a very smooth transition, and I think it was totally on a passed out. So yeah, that was fun. We then had a segment with Cope and Christian and FTR. There was a no touch clause, and Stokely Hathaway reiterated that if the Cope and Christian touch them, if he touches Stokely, it's a $500,000 fine, and if he touches either Cash Wheeler or Dax Harwood, I think he said $100,000 fine or something, or 200,000, something along those lines. And this was a good promo. This was fun. This was entertaining. And there were some personal things said. There were some WWE name mentions. I know that gets a lot of attention, and I haven't been on Twitter yet or Instagram since the mentions because I was on live TikTok. Um, but yeah, we had a Chad Gable, Jason Jordan mention. We had a um Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa mention. So that was pretty cool to hear on AEW television. FTR mentioning them, the battles that they had with DIY and Gable and Jordan. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then Cope and Christian fired back with some things. I can't remember exactly what like specific things they said. It's like slipping my mind right now. My brain is just completely fried at the moment. But yeah, this ended with Christian hitting Dax Harwood in the face, not caring at all because Christian Cage was like, "Nah, I can deal with $500,000 because I'm rich," and then hit Dax Harwood in the face, and Dax Harwood was bleeding. So Christian Cage caught him pretty good. And it turned into a brawl. Security tried breaking it up, but they got beat up. Yeah, like any other brawl, the security got beat up. I did see some people that I know from the Ontario wrestling indie scene. Shout out Von Vertigo. I saw him. And I think I missed a couple other people, but like Von Vertigo was the one person that I saw that really stood out. I was like, oh, that's Von Vertigo. So that was pretty cool to see. We then had a qualifying match for the AEW Tag Team Championship ladder match at AEW All Out. It was the Young Bucks versus the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, where the Young Bucks came out on the winning end of that. A fun match as well with this. Yeah, this honestly, this was one. This if you were to tell me that this was your match of the night, I wouldn't argue with you. It wasn't mine because I was about to say it was until I looked at the rest of the matches. So I was like, oh wait. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't argue with you because this was a really fun match. I did enjoy this match. They're two talented tag teams. The Young Bucks came out on top, which I expected to happen. So yeah, the Young Bucks advanced that match, and there's nothing else really to say about that match other than it was a good match. Nothing else really happened. Um, we then had a AEW Unified Championship tournament championship match. Mascara Dorada defeating the Beast Mortals. Now, this actually was my match of the night. I enjoyed this match so much. The things that Mascara Dorada and Beast Mortals can do is absolutely insane, especially Dorada. The things that he pulled off, oh my goodness. I don't think I've seen some of those things pulled off ever. I didn't even think that it would someone was capable of doing those things, but Mascara Dorada proved me wrong, and this was a really fun match. Um, yeah, shout out to both of these guys. They absolutely stole the show, in my opinion. This was the match of the night. And yeah, really good match, really good stuff from both of them. And honestly, sucks that Beast Mortos can't be in that match because I think he's really talented. But I think his time will eventually come, where he gets a big opportunity. So yeah, shout out to both of these guys. Absolutely great match. We then had Tony Storm coming out, and she talked. She did her usual thing. I'm forgetting. She was like the whore you all adore, something like that, and then said a whole bunch of other things along those lines. And yeah, typical Tony Storm stuff. I'm still, under uh, the mindset that I don't really enjoy the timeless Tony Storm character, and I know that I'm a minority in that, but I've talked about it on the podcast before, and I'm still not a fan of it. It doesn't really click with me, to be honest. But she's doing the best work she ever has done, and I can give her credit for that. And so, yeah, Chris Statlander came out, Jamie Hayter came out to share the spotlight with Tony Storm. And then Tekla came out for her match and interrupted. And then that segment just ended. We then went into the no holds barred match between Tekla and Queen Aminata, where Tekla came out on the winning end. Tekla cut a promo on Tony Storm afterwards, and where Tony Storm came out and fought with Tekla. Out came Chris Statlander. And then the rest of the Triangle of Madness came out. Always good seeing Sky Blue on my screen. And then yeah, so and then they all just brawled. Queen Aminata got involved a little bit, but then was taken out pretty early in the brawl. So yeah, pretty fun stuff there. In terms of the actual match between Aminata and Tekla, there were some pretty brutal spots in there. I was like, oh man. Um, so yeah, honestly, this match was a lot better than I was expecting it to be, and I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but I was expecting this to just be like, oh, okay, that wasn't bad. But it was better than that. It was better than it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. So yeah, thumbs up on that front. We then had another qualifying match for the AEW Tag Team Championship at AEW All Out. Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey took on Killswitch and Kip Sabian. Probably the most interesting story development of the night here because Speedball, or should I say Jet Speed, picks up the win because throughout the entire match, Kip Sabian was, slapping Killswitch, quite literally slapping him around, talking trash to him, and, just not being a good tag team partner. Anything that a tag team partner should do, Kip Sabian was not. And Killswitch had enough and jumped off the apron when Kip Sabian went to make a tag and just walked out on Kip Sabian, and that allowed Jet Speed to take advantage and win the match. Um, Obviously, we knew the turn was going to come eventually. I did not expect them to do the turn here. I really didn't. Um, I thought maybe that Killswitch and Kip would end up winning, and then the turn maybe at All Out. But nope, they did it right here since Jet Speed to that ladder match. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a stacked ladder match. It just makes sense to have a team like Jet Speed in there that they can do insane spots. So like initially I was leaning more towards Jet Speed anyway, but there was a thought in the back of my mind. I'm like, maybe they'll go with Kip Sabian and Kill Switch. But they ended up not, obviously. So yeah, solid match on that. And on that end, yeah, that was fun. Nothing else on that for that. We then had Riho defeating Robin Renegade. Now, I kind of like Robin Renegade. I know this was kind of just like a nothing and like filler match for Dynamite tonight, but I was really like watching this match on live and I was like, you know what? Robin Renegade seems like she has a bit of potential. And she has that like real piece of shit vibe that I enjoy in a character. And I always seem to enjoy the piece of shit characters. And she has that, and she seems pretty decent in the ring. And yeah, I think that she has the potential to do something like really notable in AEW in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping a lookout for Robin Renegade in the future. It's my first time seeing her wrestle, so if like someone's watching this, be like, how do you not know who Robin Renegade is? I had no idea. This was another person in my TikTok preview that I said I didn't know who she was. Apparently she's had multiple matches in AEW before, and I guess I've never seen him. So yeah, Riho defeats Robin Renegade. After the match, Mercedes Moné attacked Riho because Robin, distracted Riho a little bit, allowing Mercedes, who was on commentary, to attack Riho and just pose with the title. So yeah, that was that. Maybe we'll see more Robin Renegade then if she's helping out Mercedes Moné. We just have to see. Maybe this was just a one-off thing. We then had the main event of the evening, which was another qualifying match for the AEW Tag Team Championship ladder match at AEW All Out. It was Josh Alexander and Hechicero of the Don Callis family taking on Top Flight, Dante Martin and Darius Martin, and where Hechicero and Josh Alexander picked up the win in a fantastic match. Honestly, this was a good main event, and it was a little bit slow, and the crowd was a little bit, they were kind of dying out a little bit. But you know what? After 3 hours, I don't blame them. I was kind of dying out a little bit. I even ended the live a little bit early on TikTok, just because chat was a little bit dead, and yeah, it was a pretty slow match. I think I used fantastic. It was an all right match. Yeah, it was what it was. I still think that Mascara Dorada and Beast Mortals was match of the night, but this was good for what it was. So yeah, Josh Alexander and Hechicero are added to that ladder match. After the match, though, we had all the tag teams in that match, in a brawl, and then um, the Don Callis family targeted Christopher Daniels, and then Hangman Adam Page came out for the save. Kyle Fletcher came out, got the upper hand on Hangman Adam Page, with some help from the Don Callis family, and then delivered a brainbuster to Hangman through a table on the outside. The same thing he did to Kenny Omega to put him on the shelf. And yeah, that was AEW Dynamite for September 17th, 2025. I know I kind of just breezed through that. But yeah, I enjoyed Dynamite tonight. I think this was a pretty solid episode of Dynamite, and it was a good way to lead into AEW All Out. I don't think it should have been 3 hours though. I still am under that mindset, but nonetheless, it was a fun show and a fun way to build to AEW All Out. I don't know if and this is me like a nitpicking a little bit. I don't know if I like the last minute, tournament thing and building it just right before, but I guess for like a four-way ladder match, there really doesn't need to be any build. You just put four really good tag teams in there, and that's what it is. So I kind of understand that. Other than that, there wasn't any really like progression of the storylines other than like the world championship storyline, the women's title storyline. We had an interview with Darby Allin and Brian Danielson, sorry, where Darby was talking about his match with John Moxley and was telling Brian not to get involved in his match at AEW All Out. And then Brian Danielson made Darby Allin promise something, but we didn't catch it because it was a whisper, and he kept it between them. So yeah, that was AEW Dynamite, September to remember. Let me know what you guys thought. I always love hearing you guys' opinions. Whether you agree or disagree with anything I said, I always love hearing it. And there's a plethora of different ways you can let me know your opinions. You can let me know in the comment section below on YouTube. You can let me know on TikTok, whether you come into my live or just let me know in the comment section over there. You can go over to the Kayfabe Central website on the group community section or comment on any one of the coverage posts, articles, written predictions that I do. You can go check those out and comment over there and let me know what you thought. You can also join up the Kayfabe Central Discord server. I've been a little bit inconsistent in that server, but I'm going to start being more consistent and paying more attention to it. So go ahead and join up the Discord server if you want a place to chat it up about wrestling or stuff not wrestling, because we have a non-wrestling channel in there as well. But yeah, make sure you guys check all that out. All of that is linked down in the description below, including all of my social media. So go check that out. And yeah, That was AEW Dynamite September to remember for September 17th, 2025. Once again, let me know what you guys thought. I will see you guys tomorrow. More than likely for the TNA Impact post show review. And until then, take it easy.